Atomic Blonde is a new movie by David Leitch and stars Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, Sophia Patella, and John Goodman. So what is Atomic Blonde about? Atomic Blonde is about an undercover MI6 agent who is forced to go into Berlin to find a list that everybody wants to find. That's basically the whole plot. So Atomic Blonde, when I heard about this movie, how directed by the directors of John Wick, how has Charlize Theron and James McAvoy, I got really hyped. And the trailer was really good. And man, I gotta tell you, I was a huge fan of the original John Wick and its sequel, John Wick Chapter 2, even though David Leitch didn't direct this one. So, did Atomic Blonde live up to the John Wick movies? Is it the female John Wick? Unfortunately, no. I was really disappointed by Atomic Blonde. But first, let's talk about the good things about Atomic Blonde. And first of all, I gotta talk about what everyone wants to see out of these movies. The action. Now, this being a David Leitch movie, how he directed the badass action in John Wick, I was really looking forward to the action, and it did not disappoint. While there isn't much action scenes I expected, you know, in a John Wick movie, they have like an action scene every 10-15 minutes. But in this movie, it's scattered throughout the movie. It's mostly like an action thriller, not a straight up action film. But anyways, the action is all fun. While there's some scenes that are just okay, you know, Charlie's punching stuff at school, there's one standout action scene that takes place in a stairwell. It's one take, very long, brutal. You feel the punches, you feel the blood, and it's super awesome. It blew me away. That was such an awesome action scene. And also, I gotta talk about the camera work in that scene, man. It's just one take, you see the blood, Charlie does all his stunts. I gotta praise the stunt work. The stunt work is awesome in this movie. It felt so good. I'll also talk about the cinematography. The cinematography is very good. There's a ton of images that look dark and vivid and blue, and those images look very good. There's a ton of shots where like, yep, perfect shot, perfect shot, perfect shot. Good cinematography. And the soundtrack, man, the soundtrack also very awesome. It adds to the time period, it adds to the energy the movie is trying to depict, you know, the rock star feel. Tons of 80 hits in this one soundtrack. It's a very nice, very energetic soundtrack. Now, I also gotta talk about the performances. Now, while there are problems with the characters themselves, what I don't have a problem with is the performances. Now, Charlize Theron just sells the action. She sells it being a badass. Very good work from Charlize Theron. She dedicated herself to the role. Now, James McAvoy was a standout in this movie. His lines made me crack up. He had very good chemistry with Charlize Theron. Very good work from both of them. And Sophia Patella, while I had a problem with her character overall, honestly, she had also had very good chemistry with Charlize Theron. So they also worked very good together. So I gotta say, the performances are pretty good. And that's where my positives end. So why was I so disappointed in Atomic Blonde? Where does the cons go in? Well, here's the problem. First of all, I gotta say, the story is just boring. It doesn't have a straightforward story. It just adds a bunch of convoluted shit all over the movie. It just jumps from one place to another with no flow, no reason. Just dumps a lot of exposition on you, which I'll get back to later. But anyways, just like, it just really doesn't flow at all, and it just turned me off at one point. It just doesn't have a straightforward story, just a bunch of confusing stuff all over, and it really pissed me off. And speaking of exposition, now where does this exposition part come from? Now in every movie, you have to have an exposition scene at one point. At one point in the movie, you have to have someone talk down and dump information. But here's the thing. Now, a point in this movie, basically in the beginning, you see Charlize Theron is in an interrogation room. This is in the future of the movie, and most of the movie takes place in the past, like 10 days earlier. Now, most of the shit in this interrogation room is expedition after expedition after expedition dumped down your goddamn throat. Like, oh my god. It doesn't show you anything. It just has the need to spoon fed and tell you a bunch of information that you do not care about, and you just want to see the visuals and not have it hurt you. It's all too much and made the movie drag down too much of it. So when a good scene's happening in the middle of the movie where you're interested, they'll cut back to this goddamn interrogation room, and it just drags the movie too much. I hated it how it just went back. Just cut that stuff out. It did not be needed. And speaking of the characters, man, the character development is also very lacking. Now, Charlize Theron is a badass, like I said before. She kicks ass, she does a lot of stuff, and she seems on the surface an interesting character. However, they don't delve into her much at all. So it just seems like a blank person, badass, but kind of vulnerable, but you really know nothing about her past, and everything. James McAvoy, it's good character, had some depth, but overall could have been a little bit better. Sophia Boutella didn't do much, and man, John Goodman, I'm convinced it's a paycheck role for him. He does nothing but sit down in his goddamn interrogation room and just dumps expedition, and that's why Atomic Blonde was such a disappointment for me. Overall, man, guys, Atomic Blonde was just a disappointment. I expected so much better from this movie. Seeing that, like, from the director of John Wick, having Charlize Theron, the amazing cast. Now, a lot of people may take its review that I hate this movie. Personally, in my humble opinion, you could enjoy the movie. It has 75% Rotten Tomatoes. But in my personal opinion, I just was very disappointed. The movie doesn't suck. It's technically amazing with all its aspects. The action's awesome. There's some very good scenes sprinkled in. But just overall, the movie's just dropped down by a boring story, expedition, lack of character development. Just a lot of that stuff just did not work for me. Now, if the trailer sold you and you really want to go see the movie, just go see it. Screw my opinion. Just go see it. But overall, if you weren't really convinced by the trailers and you wanted more, just avoid this movie. Just don't see it. Now, I'm going to give Atomic Blonde a 5 out of 10 or 2.5 out of 5. I'm just going with a 5 out of 10. It's just overall a disappointment, and I wish it could have been a lot better. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, favorite, subscribe, show this video to your friends, tell everyone about it. Just get me more exposures, more subscribers, and I'll be sure to make you more reviews in the coming weeks. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. See you guys in the next video.